Mr. Platinum Man 1989, and I'm gonna talk about a couple wrestling related things. Um, for starters, just to get it, and I'm not gonna be in order. I'm gonna be very random. Undertaker just basically announced that there's gonna be a no holds barred match at WrestleMania against Triple H, which I think is gonna be great. Um, expect to see sledgehammer action and all this other stuff. And another note with WWE kind of dipping their foot in the waters of PG-13 type stuff. It's been kind of interesting, especially all the stuff with The Rock and Cena. I, for one, did not enjoy The Rock's second promo that much, the backstage one in his house. I mean, in his house. I didn't enjoy that one too much. I'm not gonna lie. I like the yabba dabba do bitch thing, whatever, but I don't want to say that I liked it. I don't want to like it just because he cursed. Um, I'm gonna be honest, and I didn't like it um, that much. I still think Cena's Thugonomics rap was better. Now to focus more on TNA. Last week was the big show, the first show of two from North Carolina, and it was a major success when it comes to media outlets talking about the whole Bart Scott thing. Some people talking about the Angelina stuff, but also the rating. And the thing that's very important about this rating is that it wasn't like the show consistently continued to go down. It started off strong, went down a little bit, but then it came back up, and it finished with, I believe, the highest rating of the night, the last quarter, which means that the main event had the most viewers, which is what I think TNA would want out of their main event. And of course, it was the return of Sting. Now, many people could argue about what this is credited, um, like what deserves the credit for this big rating. Now, it could just be TNA making this March 3rd show and promoting it and stuff like that. It could be because people knew that it was on the road. It could be because that promo that they showed at the end of Impact, the last 5 minutes, which was a rip off of the Undertaker promo. But point is that they got a high rating, 1.4, and it could have easily almost been a 1.5 as well, since there was actually 1.5 throughout the night. But like again, like I said, congratulations to TNA. Huge rating for them. Now to talk about that promo that aired the Impact the week before that, that was basically a spin on the Undertaker promo. Now a lot of people saw it as not necessarily a ripoff, but more of like rubbing it in their face, that like playing on what they did, but that they're the ones that actually got Sting. Basically shooting on the rumors, saying Sting is here, Sting is home. But I'm not gonna lie, I was disappointed when I first saw it, because they hyped shocking last 5 minutes of TNA and all this other stuff, and then when the last 5 minutes came and I'm waiting for it and they show the promo, it was just for that. When I wanted it to be something shocking, they quote and I quote, the shocking announcement or shocking moment of 2011, period. And I'm sure that's not the shocking or gonna be the shocking moment or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, I was already disappointed by that. But like I said, the crowd was great. The vibe was great. They only had a few matches, but as you see, the ratings um, showed that they enjoyed it, or at least that it kept them interested. Now, I haven't read the spoilers for next week's show, or this week's show rather, but I did see interviews on different people giving their thoughts on Sting winning the title, and you see people like the Pope and a couple people that didn't actually wrestle last Thursday. So hopefully they're on this taping, the second taping from that night. Now there are rumors that the crowd isn't as hot for the second taping because they were already tired from the first taping since it was filmed back to back. But number one, there's just rumors. Let's wait and see. And number two, if I was TNA, if it's really hurting it to a degree where it's obvious that they're tired and something epic happens and the crowd is just dead watching it, then I would edit in some cheers, honestly. I'm not gonna get fake cheers. I'll just get cheers from early in the night, from the first taping. And I know that sounds a little bullshit, but um, I've heard before that one of the ways they got Goldberg over was fake Goldberg, Goldberg chants coming from the speakers, and then eventually they died them out, and the crowd was doing it on their own. But the point is that it's all about presenting the best product on TV, and if that's something that the production team has to do, there you go. Now, for my personal feelings on Sting winning the world title, I will say that that's more shocking than the promo that they did the week before. But um, the negatives that people were gonna say is, of course, as things age, they want the title to focus on somebody else, etc., etc. The positives of this, in my opinion, is number one, Sting looked to be in the best shape he's been since probably 2009. And I'm not saying that that's saying much, or 2008 rather. I'm not saying that that's saying much, but he's had some shoulder injuries. The last few months that he was on TNA, he was wrestling with a T-shirt, which I'm never a fan of. Someone wrestling a full match in a T-shirt, it makes it look like you didn't even come to work. So, like I said, of course, if you show up to a regular job without a T-shirt, it doesn't that looks like you're not ready for work. But obviously, in wrestling, I love this attire. I love the entrance. I love the way they did it. The crowd reaction. Everything was done great. Great job. Um, Now, one thing that's hurt by this is he's not going to be on the road with the title. He's not. Now, I want him to hold this belt until Lockdown, depending on who he's facing, or Slammiversary if they please bring back the King of the Mountain match. But I do not want him to lose it, have him swapping it back and forth with Jeff Hardy. That's something more of WWE style. Either way, I'm supporting Sting as the champion. There's a lot of fans out there. There's a demographic that loves to see Sting as champion. And it's not going to be much longer before we can't even speak about Sting being in current wrestling. So on his way out, he had a unique run with TNA. So I don't mind none of that. Now, Bischoff recently did an interview where he was talking about feeling that the pay-per-views there's too much in a year for TNA monthly and stuff. And of course, he's the one that basically made this format. I believe it was him or maybe ECW with the whole monthly pay-per-view. But it used to be WWF in your house events, and then the big shows like SummerSlam and Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. But I think it was WCW that started this whole monthly thing, and now he's feeling like it's too much. And at first, it sounds like, you know, that's fine, 12 pay-per-views a year, especially when WWE was doing like 15, 16, 17 pay-per-views not too long ago a year. But this might not be a bad idea. If you really think about it, it'll make the pay-per-views have more value. Let's say they cut it down to 7. You have um, Victory Road. Well, they actually changed it. You have Hard Justice in August. And then the next pay-per-view 2 months later is the big Bound for Glory. A month later is Turning Point. A month later is Final Resolution. A month after that is Genesis. Then a month after that is Against All Odds. and then that's it. Wait like 2 more months before lockdown. Like basically the months that they take breaks is before the three big Slammiversary, Lockdown, and Bound for Glory, and I think that could work because you'll be able to get like almost 2 months of build up for Bound for Glory, for Lockdown, for Slammiversary, and the impacts can have more and more value. I've heard many people talking about how back in the day, going back to the 80s, let's say Ric Flair was feuding with somebody, he'll wrestle that guy for over a year straight. They'll have a program going on for a year. I'm not saying I want to see two people feuding for a year, but sometimes today in wrestling, the feuds go by so fast. Somebody's feuding 1 month and they're on to the next person next month. Now, I think those long, I think they've been doing a good job with like the Samoa Joe Pope feud that has been lasting a little while and stuff like that. But when it comes to main event, I don't want to see three world heavyweight title matches, the same competitors in a row, because that's not realistic when it comes to, if you're breaking it down contender wise. It's not realistic that the same guy keeps losing and he keeps getting chances. Now I can understand if it's like he got screwed and then he got a rematch, but that's about it. But I'm not a fan of repeating the title matches again and again and again for a couple months straight, maybe 2 months straight. But unless the two matches have been really good and they bring it to a third, then I'll be a fan of it. But yeah, so if you think about it that way, only a couple of pay-per-views a year, let's say about seven, and having 2 months worth of build-up for the big three, then that sounds great, and I'm all for it. Now I was also thinking something else they could try, but they won't do this. Is having a couple big pay-per-views. Let's say if they keep the 12 format, maybe they could have like 8 main TNA pay-per-views and then 4 pay-per-views that are available for a lesser price, and the main event is an X Division. Of course, I'm dreaming, but yeah, it is what it is. Now, before I wrap this video up, I want to talk real quick about the video that I saw on TMZ. Um, Shad from Crime Time, former Crime Time, basically got arrested today for jaywalking. I believe it was today, and it looks already like it was excessive force. Reports from the police basically are saying that he was resisting arrest, and that's why they took it to those measures. But it still looks like crap to me. It looks like pure crap, and it really like pisses me off. It kind of reminds me of, I believe it was '93, that Mr. Tupac Shakur got beat down for jaywalking. And I'm not saying Shad got beat down. He didn't get beat down. But it just looks like a lot of that was unnecessary. And I hope it all gets cleared up and he basically doesn't get in trouble for it to that certain extent. Either way, Mr. Platinum Man 1989 out. This was just some random wrestling talk. I'm gonna continue watching Raw and play some Dreamcast, PS3, whatever the hell. Stop, don't even ask me. I don't even know why I'm explaining to you guys what I'm gonna keep doing. I think if I say here like, oh, and after I'm done with this video, guys, I'm actually gonna review my trip to the toilet. Like, I don't even know why I started doing that. Anyways, Mr. Platinum Man 1989 out. Peace. See y'all next time.